Welcome, everyone, to today's Explainer. We are going to dive into something literally everyone wants, but very few people truly understand. We're talking about the surprisingly logical source of good luck. We spend so much of our lives crossing our fingers, knocking on wood, or just hoping for a lucky break. But what if our source text suggests luck isn't random at all? Today, we're going to unpack the everyday framework that actually manufactures good fortune.
Okay, let's dive into this. Where does good luck actually come from? It's kind of the ultimate question, right? Our text points out this fascinating human contradiction. Everyone deeply desires good luck, yet we completely miss the actual cause of it, even though it's literally right there in our own hands. We tend to look up at the stars, or we blame the universe when things go wrong. But the text suggests we're looking in the completely wrong direction. Good luck isn't some mystical force randomly selecting winners and losers. It is a direct, tangible result of our behavioral foundation.
Section 1. The 5 precepts as your armor. The core concept here is that these 5 ethical guidelines act as the actual engine of good luck and your personal shield against disaster.
And this brilliantly illustrates a beautiful metaphor right from the text. It advises us to keep the precepts as secure as one's own clothing. Think about getting dressed in the morning. You don't stand there and agonize over whether or not you're going to wear clothes today, right? It's an essential, non-negotiable part of stepping out into the world. Well, ethical living should be exactly that. Habitual. When you adhere to these precepts, you are quite literally putting on a protective shield. Imagine a software developer who spots a tiny loophole to easily steal user data for a quick profit. It's incredibly tempting, but because they strictly observe the precept against taking what isn't given, they just walk away. 6 months later, that loophole is exposed, and everyone involved faces massive legal ruin. To an outsider, that developer looks extremely lucky to have dodged a bullet. But that wasn't luck at all. That was the armor of the 5 precepts at work in real life.
Moving on to Section 2. Right livelihood and daily life. Now let's see how we take this ethical armor and actually apply it to the daily grind.
Notice this stark contrast here between right livelihood and wrong actions. In our day-to-day lives, right livelihood means doing honest work and strictly refusing to scam others, exploit people, or seek excessive profit. Let's ground this with another real-world scenario. Picture a local mechanic during a really tough economic downturn. It would be so easy for them to just slightly overcharge customers who don't know anything about car repairs, right? Just to make ends meet. That's the exploiting side of the equation. But instead, they choose right livelihood. They give honest quotes, they don't invent fake problems, and they charge a fair price. So what happens? They build an absolute ironclad reputation. Word of mouth spreads like wildfire. Soon they have more business than they can handle, even in a bad economy. People might look at them and say, wow, that mechanic is so lucky, their business is booming. But the text shows us the actual mechanics behind the luck. It's that strict refusal to exploit others.
Section 3. Upgrading to Ajivatamaka Sila. This is where we see what happens when you combine the baseline 5 precepts with right livelihood to really level up your practice.
So the crucial point is understanding this specific term from the text, Ajivatamaka Sila. This basically translates to the 8-fold precepts featuring right livelihood as the 8th component. It takes those original 5 baseline rules, integrates your career and daily work, and then adds a few specific, highly practical rules to round out the 8. It's a comprehensive upgrade to your daily philosophy. It essentially tells us that being a good person isn't just about what you avoid doing. It's about how you actively conduct your business and how you communicate with the world around you.
And here are those specific verbal additions that complete the 8. The text highlights 3 extra rules for your daily practice. No malicious speech, no harsh words, and no idle chatter. Let's think about how this plays out during a normal day. Avoiding malicious speech. That means you completely step away from toxic workplace gossip. You don't join in on tearing down a colleague, which ultimately saves you from office drama and completely protects your professional relationships. Avoiding harsh words means keeping your cool. Even when someone cuts you off in terrible gridlocked city traffic, you don't roll down your window and scream at them. You just maintain your peace. And avoiding idle chatter means you stop that endless unproductive rambling that just wastes your time and everybody else's. By mastering your speech like this, you are literally plugging the holes where bad luck and conflict usually seep into our lives.
Finally, our conclusion to eternal happiness. Bringing all these pieces together shows us the ultimate formula to attract continuous good luck.
Treating these precepts as your daily clothing, never leaving home without them, and making right livelihood and right speech your uncompromising professional standard is the proven formula. This is exactly how you systematically dismantle the causes of disaster before they even have a chance to form. It's practical, it's totally actionable, and it is entirely within your control starting today.
As our source material beautifully concludes for our journey, kahe tuk tan manjalar and se ka pukwam puntuk la dadarap sukanirand. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. When you step out your front door tomorrow morning, which piece of your ethical armor will you make absolutely sure to put on first?